أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون. لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون. إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون. وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم. إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون. قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون. قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم. قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون. أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين. إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون. قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين. وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون. يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون. ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون. وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
الفاتح.
पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलावत।
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
है सलाम उस पे जो कहती थी मेरे वीर हुसैन, है सलाम उस पे जो कहती थी मेरे वीर हुसैन, खाक में किसने मिलाई तेरी तस्वीर हुसैन, है सलाम उस पे जो कहती थी मेरे वीर हुसैन। جد کو ماں باپ کو بھائی حسن کو روئی، جد کو ماں باپ کو بھائی حسن کو روئی، کیا بری تھی میری بچپن سے ہی تقدیر، حسین ہے سلام اس پہ جو کہتی تھی میرے ویر، حسین اماں زہرا کا جنازہ تو اٹھا تھا شب میں، اماں زہرا کا جنازہ تو اٹھا تھا شب میں، مجھ کو بلوے میں لیے جاتے ہیں بے پیر، حسین ہے سلام اس پہ جو کہتی تھی میرے ویر، حسین تم تو پردیس میں سر اپنا کٹا کر سوئے، تم تو پردیس میں سر اپنا کٹا کر سوئے، ننگے سر جاتی ہے دربار میں ہمشیر، حسین ہے سلام اس پہ جو کہتی تھی میرے ویر، حسین تم کفن کے لیے محتاج میں چادر کے لیے، تم کفن کے لیے محتاج میں چادر کے لیے، وہ نصیب آپ کا اور یہ میری تقدیر، حسین ہے سلام اس پہ جو کہتی تھی میرے ویر، حسین خاک میں کس نے ملائی تیری تصویر، حسین درود پر محمد والے محمد۔
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد۔
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah increase the reward of all the mu'mineen for our grief in commemorating the musibah of Lady Zainab alayha salam and the trials that befell the family of Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. On behalf of the Al-Mahdi Health Committee, I'd like to thank all those who have completed the Wessex Health Survey. To ensure that everyone has had the opportunity to complete this, The survey will remain open until Arba'in Day, this Saturday, inshallah. If you haven't filled in the health survey already, which is anonymous, please do take 5 minutes to do so, as this will give us a valuable insight into the physical and mental health needs of Wessex Jamaat. The link has been sent out by email and WhatsApp, but if you need any assistance, then please contact Brother Ali Mesam Mahdi in the gents, or Sister Masma Huda, or Sister Aisha Alana in the ladies. Mu'min, we would like to thank you for your generous donations during the months of Muharram and Safar. Alhamdulillah, with your support and generous donations and that of sponsors, certain costs we had expected have been absorbed, and as a result we have revised the Muharram Safar budget to £20,000. Once again, the Jamaat very much depends on your support to run these remaining programs for the month of Safar, and we are looking for donors to help us reach our revised target. The revised target is £20,000, of which we have currently raised £18,128, which is approximately 91%. For the remaining nights in Safar, why not sponsor a Majlis for your marhumin for only £25 and help us reach our new target? We look forward to your continual support as we give our condolences to the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam and grieve this tragedy of Karbala and the great sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Surplus funds will be allocated to the general fund. You can donate using the links that have been provided and circulated by email and WhatsApp. Please can I request the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha for the marhumin of those who have provided the tabarruk for this evening's program. Surah Al-Mubarakat Al-Fatiha. We are honoured this evening to be hosting Shaykh Mirza Abbas for tonight and all of these Yaadgaare Zainab programs from now until Arba'in. Shaykh is now very well known to us here at Wessex Jamaat. He has served as a resident alim in both Birmingham and Nottingham. He is the program leader for the BA Hawza Foundation course at the Islamic College and also works as a manager for the Hawza of England. We are most grateful, Shaykh, that you have accepted our invitation once again to honour us with your Majlis. Can I please ask all of the mu'mineen to join me in welcoming Shaykh with the recitation of 3 loud salawat ala Mohammed wa ali Mohammed.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله أوله بلا أول كان قبله وآخره بلا آخر يكون بعده الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم، والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Days of Ziyarat Arba'in of Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the walking and nazar and nazariyat and services that have been given by Mu'mineen and Mu'minat in the way of, from Najaf to Karbala and other places. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of our Zawar of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and accept their ziyarat and safe return for all of them, inshallah. It's quite fascinating that what Imam Hussein alayhi salam have done. And it's all for us. It's all for us. It's all for humanity. Sometimes, out of love, we get blind to see the humanistic aspect of the sacrifice of Imam Hussein. The preservation of nature, the loving of nature, loving of creation, is because of sacrifice of Imam Hussein. The more we preserve, the more we care for others. This way we are saving the sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He made everything simple for us so that we reach to the highest nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we recite in Ziyarat Arba'in of Imam Hussein that he has sacrificed his life in order that he bring us out of ignorance. Now, what is the greatest ignorance that a human being can have? The greatest ignorance is the ignorance of Tawheed, of understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the greatest ignorance. And because of this very reason, from Adam till Khatam, all of the Anbiya were sent for Tawheed. Because humanity in a state of ignorance, in Jahalat, the Anbiya were sent to bring them out of Jahalat. So Imam Hussein says, in Ziyarat Arba'in we recite that he sacrificed his life with whatever he had. In terms of whatever he had, meaning that in terms of his maqam, his vilayat, his spirituality, his purity, his relationship with the Prophet, everything, his understanding and marifat, his strength, everything that he had. With everything he had, he gave that away. Just for us that we come out of this jahalat of ignorance. And the greatest ignorance, as we said, is that understanding of that Tawheed. And this understanding of Tawheed is on different levels. Sometimes it's very superficial. One God, very simple, yes. But at the same time, it is very complex as well. And that's the target. That's where, that's where Imam Hussein wants us to reach. To that point of understanding that very deep concept of Tawheed. As the Quran talks, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. Wherever you are, with you is Allah. Feeling that presence of Allah. أَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Wherever you turn, there is the face of Allah. I'm unable to comprehend and understand and see the face of Allah. I'm stuck in this multiplicity. Yes, I could say when I see Mu'mineen, they are indeed the mercy of Allah. They are Mu'min, Allah is Mu'min. They are representative of that Mu'min, Al-Mu'min, Miratul Mu'min, right? They are representation of that. So I could tell that, yes. That's why when you do the ziyarat of a moment, it's like doing the ziyarat of Allah. In a hadith we have. When you do a ziyarat of a moment, it's like a visitation of Allah. Right? So, what about other things, other realities? No, I am unable to grasp that, what really Wajhullah means. But Imam Hussein wants us to take us to that level where we could understand what Wajhullah is. When we understand what Wajhullah is, then it becomes Ma Ra'aytu illa Jamila, right? That's the time it becomes Jamil and beautiful, because it's Wajhullah. That's why it becomes beautiful. And he wants us to understand that. So whatever he had, he gave everything. You know, Na'uzubillah, it's not a good misal. You know, it's like gambling, you know. We give everything with the expectation of something, a jackpot or something really big. So Imam Hussein, whatever he had, he sacrificed. And then he was victorious. That's why there were no other Imam who was shaheed like Imam Hussein after that. Because he saved Tawheed with that sacrifice. He made sure that people come to that deeper understanding. Oh Allah, I know you because you show yourself to me. Not that I see this proof or that proof or this understanding or that understanding. No, you showed yourself to me. It's that witnessing, is that shuhud, is that seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Dua Arafah, that's what we find and recite if you look at the translations of it, right? And commentaries that are there as well, so that then we understand where Imam Hussein wants us to take us. So he gave everything so that we come out of that ignorance. Ignorance of, like I said, could be very superficial, zahiri understanding of Tawheed, but sometimes it could be very deeper understanding. And that's the bullseye. That's where we should be heading towards. Understanding that deep intellectual concept. Thank you very much. Of that Tawheed. Now, we may name that in a terminological sense as Tawheed ilmi. So his sacrifice was to save the Tawheed ilmi ilahi. Many people talk about Tawheed before him, after him as well, there are some. But that Tawheed, which Imam Hussein have sacrificed for, that is something else. That's why the Ahl Bayt becomes the Arkan al-Tawheedik. They are the Rukn of Tawheed. The Tawheed, that oneness of God, will not be understood without knowing them, without coming to them, without learning from them. This ziyarat that we perform is because of that. Shias don't worship graves. Shias don't worship the Imams. No. The Imams, they are those who introduce, provides us with that true vision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brings us out of that jahalat, the Imams. Our visitation to ziyarat is that. When we say Labbaik Ya Hussein, it's Labbaik Ya Allah. Because Labbaik to Hussein is Labbaik to Allah. For all that good that he has sacrificed for. That's what it's Labbaik for. So that Tawheed ilmi was saved by the sacrifice of Imam Hussein. And for us to reach there was also saved. How to reach there. Now we'll talk about that in a little bit. The other thing that was saved, which brought us out of Jahalat, is Tawheed Amali. Ilmi wa Amali. Because there are three types of Tawheed. One we call Tawheed Ilmi, Tawheed Amali, Tawheed Ibadi. So when it comes to that Tawheed Ilmi, yes, we can clearly see he has done that. He has laid that foundation. Amali means that all actions is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatsoever actions are there is from Allah. Everything that happens is by the power of Allah, by Allah. Everything that happens is from Allah. It's a bit difficult, for a beginner to comprehend and understand that. One may say that, as the theologians tend to use this, so therefore Imam Hussein was killed also because of Allah. Yazid had no fault. The Ash'ari, He said it was not Yazid, it was not an issue. It's Allah wanted, that Imam Hussein be killed. That's why. There's a misunderstanding of that Tawheed, Amali. Imam Hussein also says the same thing to Salma. Hussein, why are you going? Because Allah wants us to see killed. Imam Hussein is saying the same thing. Why are you taking children, women and children? Because Allah wants the children to be seen as captives. It's the same thing. From an outward point of view, yes. But in terms of that in-depth reality of what Imam Hussein means and what he's trying us to understand, make us understand that, portray that, reflect that, is way different. Here is Radan biqadahi wa tasliman li amri. Over there is saving one's face. Over there is saving one's honor, one's, leadership, one's kingdom. That Allah wanted. It's not me. One is being very selfish there. But here is being selfless. It's completely the opposite. Here is Imam Hussein is selfless. Over there is completely nothing but jahalat, nothing but nafs. Where they say that, it's not my fault, it's Allah's, not my fault. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam established, manifested, reflected, and taught that Tawheed ilmi. That these actions are beautiful. That's why Ma ra'aytu illa jamila, as we said. Now one may hear, will be a bit perplexed, but one is able to say it. When Siddiq al-Sughra is saying Ma ra'aytu illa jamila, yes, not just the sacrifice was beautiful. Yes, that was as well, no doubt. On Mohammed, Imam Hussein, my brother, and all that. But at the same time, Shimr was beautiful too. Why? Because that is kufr, and that is 100% kufr, and it must be kufr. It must be, something that is what it meant to be, which is the negativity. So it's, as they say, when Hazrat Amir went to fight 100% Iman with 100% kufr. That's the real battle. That's the real fight. That's beautiful. So this Jamila aspect is not just that, sacrifice was nice. No. There isn't a day like the day of Abu Abdullah, where you have 100% kufr against 100% truth. And that is understood when we have a thorough understanding of what Tawheed Amali is. When we see that Tawheed in action, and then we are able to differentiate that. That's why Imam Hussein alayhi salam fought a battle. And he planned everything. Every word, every speech, every action, every shaheed that went. It wasn't, Tawheed Amali, okay, we're going to die anyways. Let's fight. No. Every action of his, every shaheed, every step that he has taken is well calculated. Why? Because the ripples should reach till Qiyamah. Because his actions must save that Tawheed Ilahi. Right. So he performed that. As one way want to understand, for example, what do we really mean all actions is from Allah. As the Quran also says that. These concepts of Tawheed are in the Quran. Right? But the point is for us to understand that. And the Ahl Bayt are the teachers for that. Right? When they are in the Quran, then that it means that it is there for us to understand. It's like, for example, if I tell, a young lad to lift 100 kilos. You will not laugh at that young lad who is unable to lift that 100 kilos. You will laugh at me. Why are you telling this kid to lift 100 kilos? It's not possible. So when Quran is talking about Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein, what does that mean? When Allah is saying that, wherever you turn there's a face, or what does that mean? Allah is with you wherever you are. You're not the third is the second third is Allah. What does that mean? Is it just something poetic? Or does it really mean something? Am I really supposed to understand that from a philosophical, intellectual point of view? Am I supposed to feel that? Right? Or is just like a poetry or something that is just a very philosophical statement that there's no really need for us to understand? No. When it is in the Quran, it means that it is till Qiyamah, right? As it is till Qiyamah, it means that there's a way to understand this concept. The way to see this concept, this reality, this truth must be felt by us inside out, by our heart, by our wujud, by our existence. When Hazrat Amir is saying, I worship Allah that I don't see, not with the eyes obviously, right? In that physical sense, right? But he has mentioned it. So when he has mentioned it, is he saying, is because he's very eloquent, he's saying that, because Na'udhu is trying to show off. We don't see that. So you have that, when these concepts of Tawheed, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى, when, O Prophet, you are shooting the arrow. Prophet, you are not shooting, Allah is shooting the arrow. It is not Prophet who is shooting, it is actually Allah who is shooting. The action of the Prophet is known as the action of Allah. Right? That's Tawheed Amali, Rafa'ali, if you want to call it. In fail, in action. So when this concept is there in the Quran, when this reality is there in the Quran, it is for us to see that. It is for us to feel that. It is for us to understand that. It is for us to live with that. That's why if these all three different types of Tawheed is understood, life is very simple and easy. Because one would say that, okay, I, from my side, try my level best to make things happen. If it doesn't happen, it's Allah. Not that I'm lazy and I don't try, then I put it on Allah. From my side, Imam Hussein did everything. Even told Shimmer, why you want to kill me? That last minute he's asking, don't. He has fought and everything, he has tried to save himself. Shimmer, why do you want to kill me? I will guarantee you Shafaat Rasulullah. I will guarantee paradise. From Imam Hussein's side is from fight to the request point of view. To that level he is. Right? But he says the price of Yazid is better for me. Right? So from our side, in terms of our action, we have to try our level best. And then if it doesn't happen, then that is the fail of Allah. That is something, a test for us. That is the af'al ilahi that we have to see and comprehend and understand. Then that Radan baqadai wa tasliman li amri. Oh, arrows, my chest is welcome. If by my chest, if deen is safe, kill me. By killing me, if that's happening, it's something that is very sweet. Right? That's why they say, there's a hadith from 5th Imam mentioning the Prophet that when Prophet mentioned about Karbala, what's going to happen and everything, and he mentions that there will be ashab of Imam. And the ayan, the hadith is from Kamil Ziyarat. I have that in reference with me as well tonight. The ashab will be killed, and the swords will have no effect on their bodies, just as the fire for Ibrahim had no effect on them. They will have no effect. Now, no effect doesn't mean that they are not feeling pain. Pain that is natural, that will be there, but that pain is very sweet. That pain is jameel, is beautiful. So that is the action. Now, when you are looking at this action is from Allah, then you are tasleeming, then you are surrendering, then you are pleased with that. So he, with whatever he had, he sacrificed in order to protect these phenomena, these realities of Tawheed. Because our deen, our maktab is maktab Tawheedi. the way Tawheed is introduced in the Quran, the way Tawheed is introduced by Ahl Bayt, by the du'as, we cannot find in any place else. Whether you talk about Plato, Socrates, or at the recent period as well, talk about philosophers if you want to take Ibn Sina or Sadra and so on and so forth. Or if you want to go towards the poetic side from, or Irfani side from Ibn Arabi or Rumi, the du'as of Ahl Bayt is par excellence, is beyond that. What people or scholars have talked about. Right? Now finally, with his sacrifice, is a Tawheed ibadi, in that ibadat. Look what Imam Hussein did. He created a whole new reality, a whole new paradigm of ibadat. But ibadat tawhidi, tawhid ibadi, that unity, that oneness in ibadat. Salatul Layl, highly recommended. We all know. If you can't pray at night, before Fajr, before sleeping, pray. 11 rakat, too much Maulana. Okay, just do 3 rakat, 2 Shifa and 1 Witr. Too much Maulana, just do 1. To achieve that reward, to achieve that Tawheed through this ibadat. Very powerful tool, vehicle, medium to reach that Tawheed. All ibadat are in that direction of that. There is unity in all of these ibadat for that hadaf, for that purpose, for that goal, to achieve that nearness. And this have an effect for expansion of our heart to understand more this concept of Tawheed or this reality of Tawheed by ibadat. They say Ibn Sina couldn't figure out in certain things in philosophy. He would go to the mosque of the town, of the neighborhood, and he will pray. Sadra, the same thing has been mentioned in regards to them. With ibadat, our hearts expand and we tend to understand things. I may not know Arabic very well, but when I read Dua Kumail, I feel like I am understanding. When I read Munajat Shabani, I know I can understand it. I'm not an Arab, but I could feel it. It's there. Joshan Kabir, I feel it. Right? Because my heart is expanded to understand those concepts. Through these words, through this concept, something higher is given to us or taken to us or is understood by us. So Salatul Layl have a very powerful impact in purification, in opening of the heart, in understanding. That's why I emphasize so much. Sayyid Ali Qazi comes to Allah and he says, Agar dunya mein khai namaz shab, agar akhirat mein khai namaz shab. If you want dunya, do namaz shab. If you want akhirat, do namaz shab. Have dua namaz shab. But what did Imam say? He made it very simple for us. The 6th Imam says, when you drink water, say Assalamu alaikum. The reward of namaz shab will be written for you. Make it very simple. Imam Hussein, because he has sacrificed his life with everything which he had, and he wants us to come out of jahala. So he used different means and ways. Through loving him, through crying for him, through walking towards him for performing ziyarat. One step you take, 70 Hajj reward. One step towards ziyarat of Imam Hussein. Look what Hussein did. Imam Hussein, he sacrifices. Okay, one step, 70. Really, he's Witr al-Mawtur. We say he's Witr al-Mawtur. Doesn't mean that he's Witr al-Mawtur is the alone one in the battlefield. Everybody died, he is the alone. Yes, that's one meaning. There are 13 reasons he's known as Witr al-Mawtur. He's Witr al-Mawtur in this as well. Arba'in of Imam Hussein. We don't have Arba'in of anybody, but we have Arba'in of Imam Hussein. It's Witr al-Mawtur. It's unique, he's alone in that. For example, there are many reasons. Witr al-Mawtur in the sense that he's the only Imam who had a brother as an Imam. Witr al-Mawtur. He's the only Imam for whom there is no adab as such for ziyarat, like you do ghusl, you do recite this dua, you do. No, you just come and you go to Baba. Say Assalamu alaikum. No shower, nothing. Every sweat, drop of sweat, Allah makes an angel out of this, which will recite astaghfar for you. This is Witr al-Mawtur in regards to Imam Hussein. Turbat of Imam Hussein, Witr al-Mawtur. So there are many aspects for which he is known as the unique one, or the only one. Because of what? Because of the way he has sacrificed, what he has given, and what he has left behind, that legacy. And it was actually the women and children after that. It was Imam Sajjad after that who took that message right at the capital of Kufr in Sham. If there was now Masahib, if there was no, as they say, if Ali Asghar is the victorious one of Karbala, Bibi Sakina is the victorious one of Sham. If Imam Hussein did not sacrifice his life the way he did in Karbala and had women and children, the message of this Tawheed would not have gone to Sham. Everything was strategically planned. Everything was strategically planned. Sham, where when Amir al-Mu'mineen is killed, you go to masjid. This is the imagination, right? What to do with this? What's going to happen? The whole message of Quran, of Rasul and Wilayat. People are in Sham thinking that when Ali goes to masjid, what is he doing in masjid? Now, how can you change this? It needs something to be changed. There's no enough financial support as such to bring that revolution, right? With what the Shamis have, how they were ruling, if you look at the history, Muawiyah being the governor for a long time, what's going to happen now? There's Hussein. And Saadat Parwar mentions in the book, there's a Kitab al-Khayli, there's a very good book, Furuq al-Shahadat, Saadat Parwar, amazing book. This one talks about the Asrar al-Maqtal Imam Hussein. One of the reasons he says, why, while knowing that he's going to be killed, he had a battle, he went to Karbala. Saadat Parwar says that because if he goes in the battlefield, then the enemies will come in the battlefield. If he doesn't go out there, they will be sitting at home. And those who will be sitting at home were thorns and hurdles for the spread of Islam. Now Hussein have to uproot them. So if he has to uproot them, he has to come for a battle. He cannot be able to go to uproot them in their houses. He comes in the battle, then they will come. Then they will uproot. They will be uprooted. Because when Zulfiqar is used, it looks at 70 Nasl in the future. So he knew he's going to be killed. But he has to uproot these thorns and hurdles for the spread of that Tawheed, for the protection of that Tawheed. This is what he did in Karbala, and now this message should go to the capital of Kufr in Sham. And these are the nights. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala arwah allati hallat bi finnaik. Alayka minni salamullahi abadan ma baqitu wa baqiya al-layl wa an-nahar. Wa la ja'alahu Allahu al-akhir al-ahd minni li ziyaratikum. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn. In this Awlad al-Hussein, there is that little Sakina of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that in the courtyard of Yazid, she is standing among the captives, among the ladies. Imagine this, that a person who is probably not even a Muslim, he steps out of the crowd and he says that I want to buy this girl. This is Sakina. Zainab, when she hears, she shivers. She says, Sajjad, look what they are saying. In Sham, in that courtyard, thousands of people are there. And this is how they are speaking to the Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. And Fizza comes out in rage and introduces and speaks to those who were there from her clan in that crowd, and they come out in rage. The message of Imam Hussein and Ahl Bayt is being discovered to many people who are unaware of who Ahl Bayt are. The khutbah of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam in Sham. The khutbah of Hazrat Zainab in Sham. And then finally that grave in Sham itself, that little grave in Sham, which leaves that presence of love of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and that message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You know how that grave was built? You know, this grave of Bibi Sakina is in the prison itself, right? You know how it was built? It was built while Imam Sajjad was wearing the chains. It was built after when Imam Sajjad alayhi salam buried his own sister in that very burned kurta that she was wearing. You know, when it was built, when she took the head of the father and she was speaking to the father, and the first thing she asked is that, oh father, did they give you water before the sacrifice? And then after that she says, oh father, after you left they burnt our tents. Oh father, these people in Sham, they have a strange culture that they are so nasty and ugly towards the orphans. Oh father, you know who suffered the most? Zainab. My aunt Zainab suffered the most. You know why? When they used to slap us, Zainab would throw herself on me. And then while speaking with the head of her father, she sat down on the ground. And then here, she went quiet. And Hazrat Zainab says, Sajjad, look at Zainab, look at Sakina, why is she not speaking? And here Sajjad shakes the shoulder of Sakina and she says, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. It's very difficult for Zainab because she was the amanat given by Hussein to Zainab. And that's why when they buried Sakina in Sham, it was very difficult for them to leave the grave. They will leave the grave, they will run back and throw themselves on the grave of Sakina. And when they reach in Karbala, that's what Zainab says to, oh Hussein, oh my brother, you have given me an amanat, but I am very embarrassed that I have left this amanat in Sham.
Ya Hussein,
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 Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein,
Ya Ruqayya, Ya Ruqayya, Ya Ruqayya. Can you bear to hear the story of an orphan child? His beloved father looked at her so tender and mild. Now she lays all by herself, nobody there by her shrine. Put your head down, let me take you to a different time. Take me away from this world and to heaven's door. I want to be with you, Baba, forevermore. Baba, come back to me, Baba. 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 How can I live in this world without you, Baba? Why did we come to this land of Karbala? What does it mean, Baba? What does it mean when they say I'm an orphan now? They say the daughter of Hussein has no father now. What did I do? Where are you? Please come back, Baba. Don't leave me here in this place. Take me home, Baba. Baba, come back to me, Baba. Baba, come back to me, Baba. Baba, come back to me, Baba. Come back to me, Baba. Come back and see what they did to your girl, Baba. They slapped my face and they burned my little dress, Baba. They burnt our tent and they stole all our things, Baba. They took my veil and they ripped my earrings, Baba. They beat my aunts and they chained my sajjad, Baba. They have no shame and no heart, they're so cruel, Baba. Baba, come back to me, 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 Baba. Abbas will bring water from the banks of Furat. This is his word and I know he won't break my heart. Where is he now, Baba? How can we stay apart? Why has he not returned? Where is my Ammu, Baba? If my Abbas was here, he would protect me, Baba. Where is his flag? Why does it not fly anymore, Baba? Oh, Baba, come back to me, Baba. Baba, come back to me, Baba. Oh, Baba, come back to me, Baba. Baba, come back to me, Baba. Baba, where is Elias? Where did you take him to? Baba, his lips were so dry, but he could not tell you. And yet he smiled as he went to the battlefield. Our mother's pain is so deep, it will never heal. She said they shot him through the neck. Why, oh why, Baba? What could a 6-month little child do to them, Baba? Baba, come back to me, Baba. 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 Baba, my eyes desire you and my tears they flow. Baba, I see the birds, they are all flying home. Will I be free? Will I go to Medina very soon? Or will this dark prison cell be my only home? Maybe I'll sleep and see you once again in a dream. Maybe I'll wake and see your head on a plate and scream. Baba, come back to me, Baba. 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 صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام عليك يا سيدي يا مولاي يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا سيدي يا نبي الله يا محمد يا حبيب الله، وعلى زوجتك الوفية الخضراء خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين والمؤمنات، وعلى بدءة المظلومة الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أخيك ووليك ووصيك وخليفتك من بعدك علي أمير المؤمنين، وأبنيك الإمامين الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة أجمعين، وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذرية الحسين علي السجاد ومحمد الباقر وجعفر الصادق وموسى الكاظم وعلي الرضا ومحمد الجواد وعلي الهادي والحسن العسكري والحجة بن حسن القائم المنتظر والمهدي، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.
صل على
اللهم كل وليك وجدد الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا.
صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Selamat